All right, so it's 1:03 and we'll go ahead and get started here. First, I want to say thank you guys for joining me here today as I share some information with you about the ECI Affiliation Program. And this will include training and resources that might be of interest to you. This webinar is for you guys, so please do ask questions as they arise. I'll stop to answer those as they come in, but if you ask something and I don't see it right away, no, we'll get right back around to it at the end when we have some time for questions. Now, I'd like to go ahead and pose a question. If you guys see the chat box down at the bottom, how many of you have already done international business transactions? You can go ahead and type that in there now. This could mean inbound or outbound. It'll just help me to cater the presentation today. And know that no matter where you fall on that spectrum, I hope everyone will really get some good take-home value here today on the multitude of opportunities in the international market that are really available to you. All right, great. Here we go. All right, so here's a quick roadmap to our webinar today. First, we'll give you all an overview of the types of affiliates we work with, really our program participation, so that you can keep that in mind as the presentation goes on, and really think about where you might fit best. Then we'll take a look at the research and trends in the international market. We'll spend a bulk of our time in this section today. ECI really has a huge commitment to market research, so we do have quite a bit of information to share here. I am recording this session, so please don't feel like you need to really quickly write down all that you hear. We'll send that recording out to you all later. And then the ECI tools available to you. So we'll go over these tools to help you identify and close international business opportunities. And finally, a quick overview of how to get on board. We'll look at action items and specific tips for ways you can really implement these tools. You can do that as soon as today and move forward with your ECI affiliation. All right, so let's get started. We'll touch base on these again in a moment, but just to briefly look at the magnitude of the international trend and the timely opportunity available to you all. There are over 5 million North Americans currently living abroad. Baby boomers buying second homes abroad at a rapid pace. 15% of all foreign investment abroad is estimated to be in real estate. 1 in 5 U.S. citizens are interested in purchasing property overseas. And if your database runs toward the more affluent, this number is 1 in 4. So again, we'll look at these specific studies later in the presentation, and you'll be able to really have those for reference. We're also happy to send those over to you if you want to do a bit of research on your own. Now, specifically looking at Latin America, because ECI Development does specialize in Latin American realty, this is a really attractive region in that it's a short flight away from North America. Areas like the Guanacaste region in Costa Rica, up the Pacific coast to areas of Nicaragua, the Caribbean, especially on islands, destinations like Ambergris Caye, where there is that vacation destination and an existing rental market. These are really attractive areas. High quality of life on a limited budget. I myself am living in Nicaragua, so I definitely experience this on a month-to-month basis, and it's pretty incredible. Now we'll look at some historic challenges. So getting into international real estate does present some major challenges. I've spoken with quite a few realtors and different organizations, and overcoming these barriers is exactly where ECI has focused its efforts in the creation of the affiliation program. So across the board, there are lack of uniform standards and regulation. Even in European markets, where we would think of being as a bit more sophisticated, there's little to no real estate licensing laws. Latin America, it's the same way. Anyone can practice real estate, which makes it difficult to find the right channels through which to do business. I was speaking yesterday with a realtor out of Florida, and she, a few months back, went to the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua to look for a vacation home. And as she discussed her interest with the on-site practitioner, it was about to put an offer in, and the practitioner doubled the selling price the next day. The price tripled just 3 days after she visited the location. She told me, well, we were interested in the location, but not for 3 times what we were told before visiting. So things like this, when you're working with an established partner organization, like ECI with 20 years of experience in the region, one that upholds a high level of professional standards, has a team of trained professionals, you don't even have to worry about situations like this arising. Lack of market information in the international marketplace. Information that we take for granted in North America, such as tax information, average cost of living, those things aren't readily available in many international marketplaces. So questions like how much does this property cost in another country? What percentage of sales commissions do brokers and developers usually pay? These kind of things are facilitated by having a local expert in the region like ECI that can really guide you and your clients through all of this. We do hear a lot of hubbub, I guess if you will, from referral networking sites about connecting realtors with developers internationally, but they do leave to the realtor to ask and figure out all of these sort of questions on their own with the developer. And that brings us to this next point of who do I connect with, finding the right people to work with, who can you trust, who is a reputable, ethical developer, who specializes in high-end residential property. It can be hard to find the right professionals to link up with. And keep this in mind as we'll touch base back on the ECI team in more depth later. All right, so we'll move on now to exactly the different areas of the affiliation program. So quickly, international is important. Just want to go over this and help express the magnitude of this opportunity. There are huge fees paid out to real estate professionals for property sold in Latin America. By leveraging your local network or the network of clients and prospects you already have, you can discover all sorts of international business opportunities that already exist. And through an ECI affiliation, you can access the tools to serve globally interested clients. We have 20 years of experience. We have all these tools and resources, and we'd love to share them with you. Let's see. So here's the first tier of the affiliation program. And the referral structure is outlined in the affiliation program manual. I'll go ahead and send that out right after this presentation, just in case you all don't have it. But as a quick overview, we have a 2% referral fee for passing along the name of an interested prospect, and a 6% referral fee for a realtor who follows a sale through to close. So our casual affiliates are folks who do share some content, perhaps place a banner on their website or content in their newsletter, and simply pass along the names of interested prospects as they arise. So this is a very low commitment, kind of as the name would indicate, casual affiliate that earns referral fees at their own pace. As we move into the business builder affiliates do a healthy combination of both the 2% name pass along referral and the 6% where they're following the sale more closely and do bring it to close. They're posting and sharing content, but also taking time to become more informed and helping their clients sign up for webinars, sharing some more of the informational content like country handbooks and the cost of living charts. And then we move along to the empire builder. And this individual, these folks are a highly motivated group, and they're mainly interested in becoming the lead source, chapter, or office representative for Latin American real estate. So they're motivated to build an annual 6-figure or higher business, and they really do set high goals for prospect generation and real estate sales. So ECI Affiliation Program, it all boils down to sharing impactful information. We really believe in this. It helps you build rapport within your contact base, brand yourself as a foreign market expert, and tap into this huge market of internationally interested home buyers. And you can help them learn so much more about property ownership abroad than you can through many other avenues, as we have all these resources to share. So now this is a big bulk of the talk today, research on the international trend. We are a heavily research-based company, so we do have quite a bit of information here. Again, don't be overwhelmed. We will send this back to you in a recording. All right. So quickly, an overview of what we'll go into: which demographic is purchasing property overseas? Why are they in the market for international property? What kind of real estate are they looking for? What challenges are they likely to face? And how can realtors like you serve them and earn fees? So this is the structure of the research we'll be talking about, and we'll quickly get into the demographics. So North Americans have been migrating to warmer climates for generations. We see this in Mexico, where over 4 million North Americans are currently living. This macro demographic trend is moving even farther south. You see it in the Guanacaste region of Costa Rica. You see it out in the Keys. you see it in quite a few areas throughout Latin and South America, mainly because it's just such a quick flight, and the property values are very good bang for their buck. If you look at the Zogby survey of 103,000 US citizens, this is 26 million of those, equal to 18%, seriously consider relocating or owning property outside of North America. And of those, 4.5 million consider Latin America their first choice. So really stating relocation is a trend, not a fad. That's a big statement that they made at the end. And they were also stating that it's not just here in North America that we see these trends happening. This is a really global trend, this international move, mainly because of globalization and how easy it is just to keep in touch and bounce back and forth between a couple of locations. So TD Waterhouse poll of Canadian citizens, 45% of respondents say they will spend at least 1 month abroad when they retire. With a total of 9.4 million baby boomers in Canada, this is 4.23 million potential owners and renters in that market alone. So just to kind of drive this point home, 11,500 US and Canadian baby boomers retire every day for the next 18 years. So that's a huge group of individuals that are actively looking for low cost, high quality of life places to move to, and Latin America is really the answer for a lot of them. Right now, over 5 million North Americans currently live outside the US and Canada. Those are just the people that we actually have record of living outside the US and Canada. Many estimates are actually much higher, just based on people vacationing part-time or kind of snowbirding between locations. And 613,000 US retirees already take Social Security outside of the US. So as we just read with Zogby, 1 in 5 people, that 18%, are interested in buying international realty. And this is a quote from leading real estate companies of the world, but they recently detailed a report that was featured in the Wall Street Journal, and it based their data on a network of over 500 real estate brokerage firms, stating that the number of US buyers searching for homes has risen to close to 30% in recent years. So again, just this trend is really amplifying and increasing as the years continue. Another study, 25%, so instead of 1 in 5, this means 1 in 4 of affluent households earning in excess of $800,000 per year expressed desire to purchase a new, additional, or different vacation home in the next 5 years. Whoa, let's go back there. So why are they in the market for international property? So we essentially see 2 types of clients looking to purchase internationally. You could call this the difference between the head and the heart. So one type of client will be mainly fueled by numbers, that's the investment buyer. And then one really more focused on the community and the amenities, the lifestyle buyer looking for retirement or vacation or second home. So we'll touch base on both of these. It's important to note, though, that this is truly more of a Venn diagram than it is 2 separate paths. Few people are ever fully investment or fully lifestyle. There's a lot of overlap. So kind of be looking for these beads woven throughout the presentation, because you'll get a sense of both the investment opportunities and lifestyle opportunities at our locations. And that's really what you should be looking for when you're looking to partner with any developer. So again, higher quality of life in Latin America or just across the world. I can personally attest to this in Latin America. Massages for in Nicaragua, much less than $20 an hour. Maid services for $160 a month. Low cost of food and organic produce. I mean, receive a huge burlap bag of fresh organic food and produce to your door for $8 a week at the beginning of every week. It's really incredible the types of lifestyle advantages you can get south of the US. And then really quickly, back to that retirement demographic, a survey of middle-class America, Wells Fargo survey, 34% stating they'll have to work until at least 80 until they can retire. 33% say that they will never retire and will work until they're too sick or die. And 49% of those aged 50 to 57 having saved less than $25,000 for retirement. So that retirement plan in the US might not be looking so bright at this moment for those individuals, but south of the US border, it's very possible. Again, another survey with similar results, Ernst & Young, Many of the 77 million baby boomers facing unprecedented challenges in maintaining their standard of living, 3 out of 5 expecting to outlive their financial assets, and many will have to reduce their standard of living significantly. And again, that's where international homeownership comes into place. This combination of health and wellness, community, and being in a vibrant location. And then here's back to that investment. So this is the other side of the coin, the investment return curve, where you see locations in Central and Latin America that are either high up in the Pacific coast of Costa Rica, for example, at the top of this curve, that are in a mature market, experiencing a lot of cash flow, a lot of people looking to move there, kind of the Guanacaste region of Costa Rica to be more specific. And then down on the opposite end of the spectrum in Nicaragua, where it's really in that emerging market, and you can experience high levels of appreciation in property values. Just a little photo there. Let's see. What kind of real estate are they looking for? So traditional services, communities, and amenities are what across the board people cite as what they're looking to find. Strong preference for single-family detached homes. So really kind of these key concerns: low maintenance, upkeep, and availability of property services. A lot of lock it and leave it, maybe people looking for smaller homes or condos that they can rent out or not have to worry about when they're not necessarily there when they're looking for a second home. And what challenges are they likely to face? So when you're looking at real estate overseas, the best thing I can compare this to is like driving a car. Imagine driving a car in different cities, states, or countries. There's a huge difference in driving style when it comes to driving in Columbus, Ohio versus New York City. I went to school at Tulane, which I can vouch that New Orleans is very different than driving in Dallas. Stop signs there were locally thought to be more of a suggestion than a rule, and the same could be said about driving in your assigned lane. My classmates would joke that lines were only really there as general guidelines. So now think about driving in Mexico, Nicaragua, or Europe. Things are confusing, backwards, maybe not properly regulated, and real estate really can be the same way. So you really need to forget what you think you know. Little things do make big differences, and you don't know what you don't know. And these are the things that you can help arm your clients with. So there are 3 basic principles that these 15 critical questions really boil down to. These first 3, under Buy What You See, we have them posted in the CIPS blog. So if you all are interested in seeing those, you can check out their blog online and read a little bit more. And we are doing a 15-part series with them. So you'll be able to keep track of these as they come along. And Mike does periodically give a 15-question seminar. So quickly, Buy What You See, is there year-round access to the area in both the dry and rainy seasons? So look at some of these road conditions. Do you think that these cars are really going to be able to make it where they want to go? Probably not. So we need to look for bridges, constructed roads, and a tip is to plan property visits for the rainy season so that you can experience conditions and drive time firsthand. So question number 2, does the existing infrastructure include underground utilities, stormwater management, paved streets, and sidewalks? So you definitely want to look for these things whenever you're visiting a location or help inform your clients that they need to be looking for these things, because a lot of this seems so second nature. Coming and living in the States, you wouldn't even think to question if there are sidewalks or, paved roads, telecommunications, this storm drainage system, sewage systems. But be sure to tell your clients that these things may not be there, and they really do need to ask and do their due diligence very thoroughly when they're looking abroad. Is the home or condominium plumbed for hot water in all bathrooms? This is one of the best photos we have out there. So this is from a $300,000 condo in Guanacaste region of Costa Rica. Beautiful granite countertops, beautiful tile floors. But look at this splitter. This is a cold water pipe, I guess if you will, being splitted, and so that when it comes up out of the faucet, it looks like you might have a hot and cold water system, but really it's just cold water. And then we'll go through one of the 15 critical questions for both Own Community and Know the Developer, and we can send you all these 15 critical questions as well. So do amenities exist? Make sure the vision isn't just a developer's dream. So, a lot of people can kind of get lulled into these big talks or, big talk for future plans. But what you really need to be informing them of is opportunities that are existing right now. Tip is a talk to residents and ask about the community. So what to look for, things like golf course, tennis courts, all sorts of amenities that should be in place. Know the developer. Does the development company have a strong reputation? And now this one is important. So here's part of the ECI team. It was in ECI, let me just give you a quick history. Incorporated in 1996. Our CEO, to the left of he's the second one to the right, I guess, so we can say it that way. So our CEO, Mike Cobb, he really was focused on creating these high quality real estate opportunities for North Americans in Latin America. He accurately predicted this growing need for a lot of this middle class retirees, and ECI has continued to grow from there. So Mike's a trusted thought leader in the field. He speaks at dozens of international conferences annually. He contributes regularly to overseas publications, gives counsel to various real estate projects in the area, and serves on the Presidential Advisory Board for the National Association of Realtors. So make sure when you're working with someone, you do see who the team is and you make sure that they are trustworthy partners. Another great measuring stick, as Mike likes to say, when looking at evaluating a potential partner, is how involved are they in the local communities outside of their developments? Do they plan to be in and out, or is this a long-term commitment and a relationship to the area? And then we'll continue forward in how realtors like you can serve them and earn fees. So this isn't still a part of our research section. We'll go ahead and move on to the ECI tools available to you and how to get on board. So when looking at the big picture, opportunity for increased income, the most evident benefit of the affiliation program is this opportunity to generate more revenue for yourself and your firm. This process generates everyone a little bit more revenue with just a little bit of coordination and information sharing. So perhaps you have clients, you've asked about properties in other countries, you didn't know exactly how to proceed. Now you have a process and support system with powerful tools to help you expand your services. So you're really able to build on already established client relationships. And now you have knowledge and know-how, information on how you can ask the right questions of your current clients when they're looking for international property. So you get to participate in this interestingly new growing global marketplace. And it's really grown into an international enterprise, the real estate industry, with brokerage organizations like Century 21 building these multinational enterprises. We're now really encouraged to think not just local, but globally to really meet the needs of our clients who are looking overseas. And expand your knowledge and training. So at very least, you can really learn this very easy system and be ready for an international opportunity if one should come your way. All right, so ECI's response to challenges. So our main goal here is to create a system that would address the barriers outlined previously to international real estate. So really a standardization of referral procedures and fees, training for the country's real estate practice, or you can simply refer your client to our sales team and we provide the expertise while you earn the referral fees, and then provide marketing materials, international training resources, and content pieces. So that's really where ECI steps in to facilitate the process. So the program itself is very simple. What we would generally take a little bit more time on your end is building your brand for international. So when you what you do is you sign up, you register, and sign on with a referral agreement. So it's very simple. You could just send me a quick email and we can chat over the phone and talk about, whichever level you feel like might work best for you. And continuously, I'll just go ahead and send marketing materials, country handbooks, pre-written content pieces, social media posts, and email templates. So if you already have a client lined up that you might be looking for a place in Belize or Costa Rica, you can go ahead and ask for those country handbooks. And I can get you that sort of information you might need. And then utilize marketing materials to build branding as a market expert. So again, that's really what might generally and historically take more work on your end, is that branding as a market expert in Latin America or globally. So building your brand for international outbound. This process means posting about international opportunities, benefits, lifestyle advantages, and rental markets overseas. So again, that's really where ECI steps in to facilitate the process. We said, we have 20 years experience in this market. Let's expand our sales force. Let's train and send out our content to these realtors and individuals. Let's make this as simple and easy on them as possible. So all it does is it requires you to send out an email or two telling your clients that you can help them in international house hunt, post to social media, put blog pieces with photos up on your newsletters. Again, the program is based around this simple idea, and I think I put that on the next slide. Let's go ahead and look at it again. So just sharing impactful information. This builds rapport within your local contact base and helps you tap into all sorts of individuals looking for property ownership abroad. So we'll go ahead and talk about the 3 simple steps. And it's just another way for you to think about this process. 1 is identify, 2 register, 3 qualify. So we'll get into those now. In the identify stage, use a simple email to filter your database. And you can just do this continuously, send out an email, do a quick post to social media. But it helps you just anytime you're talking about and bringing up international or, real estate specifically in Latin America, wherever it is, you're going to get some sort of fish on the line. And you can do this by offering a consumer resource guide to anyone thinking about owning property overseas. And your result from that is a list of prospects and clients who want to own a property overseas or who are seriously considering it. So at that point, you can register your clients with ECI, and we can co-market together with country-specific information. So tools here are resource guides, country handbooks, newsletters, webinars, and property invitations. So you're able to provide more information to your client. You secure a lifetime lead lock on that individual looking for international property. So even if they purchase, 5 years down the line with us, your name is still in the system as the person who referred that individual to us. And then the qualify stage. So using more direct surveys to identify regions of the world of interest to that individual. And you can send a likes and preference survey to help them narrow their focus, learn budgets and timelines for purchase, and provide resources. So the result is really matching them with their property that they're dreaming about overseas. So when you look at country handbooks, we have all sorts of tools, pre-approved financing, pre-written letters, sales materials, seminar support, a little bit more information on our pre-approved financing, up to 80% on homes, 50% on condos. And I know you guys are concerned about titling, so we do have First American title insurance on our properties. And here's an example of a pre-written letter. And if you'd like to receive more of this, just send me a note. I'd be happy to send it along to you. I think yesterday all of you should have received a different pre-written letter with a neat article a realtor sent us just the other day. So just to look at this more visually, that initial sort of identify stage where you're identifying the interest, and then these next ensuing stages where your clients can learn more about the opportunity at hand through handbooks and marketing materials. 15 questions client seminars where Mike goes through. We went through about 4 of them just today, but things like that hot water, cold water, splitter, things that people might not always think to look for when they're looking at overseas. Sales materials and banners for your website. This is something that's really easy to implement, and we do have this, I mentioned a lot with our casual affiliates, where people just post a banner on their website and people and their clients can go ahead and click on that. Maybe it's in their newsletter, but it does consistently generate these referral lead names. Client's result is their dream location in paradise, and your result is that 2 to 6% fees for sales. 1 out of 5 people in your database, average purchase price of $300,000. So just do the math here on the kind of opportunity at hand. And a tip for the motivated, becoming the international rep for your office and running the 3 simple steps for other agents. And that's more in our empire builder category. If that's of interest to you, would love to speak a little bit more about that. Again, ECI Development is the only multi-country developer in Latin America, so that really does distinguish us from competition. And now we'll go into different communities here. So ECI has communities in a variety of regions. They serve a variety of clientele. As I mentioned, our average purchase price is around $300,000. We do have a real estate ranging from around $130,000 to condo selling for over $1 million. So while our target market is really that $300,000 right in the middle, we do have product on both sides. First, we'll go ahead and talk about our opportunity in the Guanacaste region of Costa Rica. This is Flamenco Towers. It's a luxury condominium community really in the heart of the Guanacaste region. And this is considered Costa Rica's Gold Coast, and it's currently experiencing its second real estate boom. So tens of thousands of expatriates already call Costa Rica home. It's a high-end living experience here at Flamenco Towers with 2 and 3 bedroom units with 2.5 baths, as well as penthouse suites. So really spectacular views. All residences have an elevated view of the coast with views over the Pacific for sunsets each night. There's underground parking, 2 resort pools, and golf and dining just minutes away. So it's a great location. And then a little bit farther down, but in a similar vein, the Caribbean coast of Costa Rica. So this is a location we're currently in the planning and development stage, but it'll be 1.8 miles of direct oceanfront, and the Port of Limon just 10 miles south. So that area is really experiencing a huge boom in terms of interest and activity. And it's an envisioned marina community. Now moving into Nicaragua. This is where I currently live at Grand Pacifica. So it's a very unique Spanish colonial beach community, and it has 3.5 miles of stunning Pacific Ocean front. It really delivers that rich living experience to residents and guests alike with the charm and character of its neighborhoods. Very diverse. You have in the picture here, you see the condominium community, one of our 2. We're currently in a development stage of the second one. And then we have a couple more established neighborhoods, and I live in the little Casita Village community farther off. So that San Martin Casita is the type of home that I'm currently renting out. The oceanfront condo, a more zoomed in image of what we just saw, 3-bedroom home, and then a luxury villa. So we do have quite a bit of different product at this location. And that on the bottom right is an image you haven't seen yet. So this is the interior of one of our condos there. And then here's one of our villas that we have. So let's see, I hope we have that first picture again. But this location, I do live here, and it's really just amenities galore. So you have the restaurant, golf, the restaurant's right there to the right of the condo, I guess to the left, but in the right of the photo. And there's a golf club, restaurant, infinity pool, spa with massages offered at the beach, horse stables. So my little casita overlooks the golf course. I've taken a surf lesson out in front of our beachside palapa. So residents are very active in the local community as well. So there's not a lot just going on site, but also off site. And it's perfect for both relaxation and adventure, really whatever the individual might be looking for. I enjoy living there quite a bit. And then now we'll get into Panama. So this location, Los Islotes, it's still in that construction phase, but it's set to be a private gated residential community on the west coast of the Azuero Peninsula in Panama, and it has a half-mile beachfront property. Its pre-sales are underway, and again, we'll have a plethora of amenities, a boutique hotel, construction on the first home and founder's lodge. It's nearly complete, and we'll keep you on the loop with more details about this location. Now, Belize. So you'll definitely want to sign up for our next presentation if you have not already done that, where Rachel Jensen, our VP of Sales for this location, will walk you through the opportunity. It's a great location, back to this investment return curve. See, Belize is really in that sweet spot of the investment return curve. So people will see both appreciation and cash flow here on site. And we do see rentals as being pretty hot. TripAdvisor's #1 island for 2014. I mean, this location is very desirable. So Belize, especially Ambergris Caye, should really be on your radar. And then I'll just give a quick overview of Grand Cayman. I don't want to steal any of Rachel's thunder on this one, but it offers condos in 2 settings, an off-beach location with a health and fitness club atmosphere, and then a direct ocean side with a beach club. So the neat thing here is that residents and guests have access to both properties, and they can enjoy the amenities at their leisure. So there's the Gardens community, the off-beach location, and here's the Grand Bayman Belize oceanside location that's set to begin construction here in 2016. So the neat thing as well is we're always looking forward. So looking at locations in Chile and the tropical highlands in Ecuador. Now let's quickly talk about how to get on board here. So in a quick overview, ECI is an established partner organization, materials and events oriented towards your education as an international realtor. And so it's really set to help you help your clients. We have a lifetime lead lock and referral agreement in place to guarantee payment of all referrals that result in sales and promote more listings and expand your business globally. So looking at the structure again, any way that you can identify interest in your clients, whether it's someone coming up to you individually or you're sending out one of these pre-written letters, these social media posts, we can really take it from there, and we can really help you take it from there by providing these other informational pieces. A quick success story. I forgot to put her photo on here, photos of her post, but this is one of our affiliates from Canada who posts in her newsletters. She shares content on social media and posts bulletins in Facebook groups and community centers in her hometown. Her name is Joanne, and she received interest in a $400,000 property at Grand Pacifica in Nicaragua. She worked with the on-site realtor and our VP of sales for Grand Pacifica. If you want to tune on to his presentation later today, he's also presenting. And he really helped her with marketing materials, set her up with a referral agreement, a marketing plan. And her 2 leads per month, I spoke with her just a few weeks ago. She said quickly rose to 5 leads per month in under a year, just through continuing to post these things and building rapport within her local community. And I just want to touch base quickly. This is from a recent study that the National Association of Realtors released. So this is a percent of realtors with international clients. And just to give you a sense of how this trend is increasing here. And then how realtors obtain international clients. So again, it ties back into that building rapport through previous clients and contacts, website and online listings, and through friends. So it's really these posts and sharings and just word of mouth so that people can know that they can come to you as a reference point. And then to talk about our EIPS certification, if you came by our booth at the NAR San Diego event, we would have spoken about this one. So this is a really exciting opportunity to come to site and be trained in how to sell Belize, how to sell Nicaragua. It actually is in Costa Rica as well. So it's not just Belize and Nicaragua, but we'll be training you on how to sell in Latin America specifically and really giving you a lot more insight into these markets and how to connect with clients. As well, you'll also be able to, see the locations firsthand, and that does help. That goes a long way when it comes to referring your own clients to check out our locations. So the EIPS certification would train the affiliate to become a knowledgeable practitioner in Latin American real estate, providing these important resources, training and referral tools, and helps to differentiate affiliates in the international marketplace. So coming soon, we'll have a realtor section in our ECI development webpage. If you haven't already been there, you should check it out, but we'll keep you in the loop on when this goes live, and it'll just be a neat way to have a streamlined place for market information, events, resources, and education. All right, so just a quick overview again. ECI is the only multi-country developer in Latin America, 20 years of experience, established communities. We put the tools in your hands, and all you have to do is use them. So if you have any questions or would like to receive specific action items to move forward, please do send a note to my email, jwolf@ecidevelopment.com. It's there at the bottom. And I'll go ahead and email this webinar along to you all, as well as the affiliation program manual, as well as a couple of tips to begin or bolster your visibility as an international professional. So thank you again for joining me here today, and be sure to log in to watch the next 2 webinars detailing information on Belize and Nicaragua we have going on today. They should be pretty exciting. And if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer those now. I'll go ahead and open my chat box and wait a few minutes just to see if any of those come in. All right, well, I'm not seeing anything. Thank you all again so much. I hope to hear from you soon, and I will certainly be sending out an email just to follow up and send this recording. Have a great day. Thank you.